Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. I'm Zach
Cruz.
And I'm Briana.
Yeah, I know y'all heard that switch up. We do got a guest in the house today.
Briana.
Hello.
New. I want to say new because it's been a year, right? So poppin'. Go ahead. Name the statistics.
Happy New Year's, guys. We appreciate you guys coming back for another week. As always, you guys, people are signed. If you guys are listening on the audio side, go check our video. We got a little banner up. It's kind of funny. So yeah, definitely go check that out. But we do appreciate you guys coming back for another week. Always giving us support. It's a new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's the first part of the year. We got I want to say something like the pod success. We got actually on a radio show. It's actually every Wednesday at 4 p.m. We're going to be going. It's on the Block 105. It's an online radio station, so go check them out.
This will be the first episode on 105 The Block.
Yep. But as always, since you guys are our supporters, you guys are going to get the episodes first before the radio station does. If you guys listen on the radio station, go check out our Spotify, go check out Apple Music, go check out Instagram. You can find all of our socials there, everything. So we got visuals, we got audio, everything like that. And if you guys are on the Block 105 listening, we do appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening to us, giving us some love and support. You know, we've been doing this for almost about 8 months now. We've been doing this, so consistently every week we drop. So we're excited to have you guys as and
we've been doing this for 8 months, and we hitting our stride now. We just ended the year with Kayla Taylor. That was fun, and then now first part of the year, we got Briana.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Any of you guys that I know, a lot of people that think about real estate, it's a sexy career, it's fun, it's this and that. We have Briana here, who just within this year started and has seen success early and has a lot of little tips and tricks.
She's killing the game, bro. She's been killing. I've been watching her. I remember when she was studying, we were talking to each other because when she was studying for her stuff,
back and forth.
Yeah, when she was studying for her real estate stuff, I had just finished my signing agent stuff. And I remember we were talking about stuff like that. And over the last year, man, she's killed the game. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that. So you guys can definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to have some stuff. She'll probably be dropping some knowledge bombs, some things that she went through. She'll have some stories.
Some fun little stories about like, hey, I need to go see this viewing. And then, whoa, what just happened?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so definitely stay tuned. That we're going to have a lot of things. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and drop into our weekly failing and success and get this ball rolling so we can get into the fun stuff.
Remix.
Oh, yeah, remix for sure.
This is, we're recording on Sunday. We're dropping on Monday. If you listen to the Block 105, this is a Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. But we felt like we wanted to mix this episode up a little bit and let's do our little New Year's resolution instead of weekly success and failure. Because at the same time, that's what we talk about. That's why we talk about it. Accountability, progress, growth. My resolution this year is to I want to say I set myself up for a lot of things 2021, right? Like with the podcast, got myself into the master's program at UCF or whatever. I made a big pivot moving from the CPA, going into this kind of direction, more of operations direction. I want to follow through with everything and I want to take it up a notch. I want to end next year looking back like, damn, I'm doing this. Like, yeah, we started the podcast 2021. We're doing this shit 2022. Yeah, you switched from the CPA 2021. Yeah, dude, you're doing this shit 2022. Your career, your school, everything. Yeah. I want to follow through with purpose. That's my year. That's my resolution this year.
You never know what's around the corner.
100%.
You never know.
100%.
You never know.
And then for me, I haven't really told you guys about this. I've told only a few people in my life. So I'm gonna be dropping it for you guys. But so my girl graduates next year, like May or so. And after she graduates, my plan is by next year, I'm planning on actually going to get my pilot's license.
What?
So yeah, I'm going to get my pilot's license. So I'm hoping by the end of next year that my goal is to get that started. And hopefully by the end of next year, I want to have my pilot's license, like at least my private pilot's license out the way.
How long is that process?
Private pilot's license, man, you can actually get that done in a couple months.
Wow.
Really?
Like you have to be grinding and hustling, like focused on it, give it your all. But yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah, and that's my goal is to have it done. But my overstretch goal is I want to be an instructor by the end of next year.
Instructor?
It's pilot instructor.
Pilot instructor by the end of next year.
Yeah, that's my big goal. If I don't reach that, I'm not gonna kill myself, but if I reach that, I'm gonna be super excited. That's definitely what I want to do.
And you were saying that Melissa's finishing school because that frees you up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I don't have to be trying to kill myself so much. I'm still gonna be working, doing everything I'm doing, because the great thing about becoming like a pilot is you can do it. It's like super part time. The schooling is online, the ground schooling is online, and then the flight time, you only got to do here and there. You can
It ain't
schedule.
easy,
You
though.
it's definitely not easy. Anything good is not gonna be easy.
100%.
But I'll do it and I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
That's
There you go.
insane.
What about
That's
you?
Insane.
Brianna.
Yeah, I know. I
How
dropped
can
the
I follow
bomb.
up with that?
Brianna, our first guest of 2022. What you need?
Ooh, give it some applause.
Yay. Honestly, this year has been so crazy, and there's been so many changes in my life. I have a lot of goals for next year, or for this year.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to end 2022 looking back and scaling my business so much higher than I've reached already. And there's so much that goes into it, but I'm really excited about it. That's all I gotta say. I just want more for myself and my business and my family.
There you go. That's great.
yeah.
That's great. And that's one of the biggest things. I feel like everybody always wants to go for something more and do something more. And like, you got to have steps to implement it. You got to do it. And you know what? I know for sure you're going to kill it.
How hungry are you?
Because, man, let me tell you what, I give it to her because she's hungry, bro. From what I seen last year, man, I've been impressed. She's killed the game. Like I said, we're going to get into it. And she's had some big accomplishments and milestones for first year. And, I think they say, 90% of realtors never sell a home, right? Something like that.
In their first year?
In their first year, I don't know the statistics, but a lot of people quit on their first year.
Yeah. And you didn't quit.
No.
You succeeded, you dominated, you killed it, and that's big.
Can I just tell you, my first deal was within my first couple weeks of real estate, and I beat out the top listing agent in St. Cloud.
There you go.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
I was going head to head with her, with one of my really close friends, to get that listing.
How
and
does a head to head work? What do you mean? So like, because she owns a lot of this territory.
The realtor that I was going up against, obviously, she has a really big name for herself. I just got my license. I have basically no knowledge. All I had was my brokerage and, myself to give.
And who was your brokerage at the time?
I worked for Rural Realty Real Estate.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I really had to fight for that. It wasn't a super close friend. She was a friend. My brother worked at a hair salon, and she worked at the same hair salon. And we've known each other for like 5 years. And she was doing my hair, and they were getting close to listing their house, and I was getting close to get my license. And, there was a lot of different things that I had to offer her to get the listing.
Yeah.
But I had to beat out someone who has a name. I mean, I can just
Experience.
I can just say it. She had a really big name for herself.
Yeah.
She's the top listing agent for Harmony.
Harmony.
So yeah, which is in St. Cloud.
So you were just starting, or not even starting out yet. You were in the process of getting your license, getting a haircut from somebody that's like, we might be listing here soon.
Exactly.
And you know that you're getting ready to compete.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. So listen to that. Look how experience, big name, stuff like that helps a lot for somebody that doesn't know you.
So,
but
I put it to her like this. I said, listen, I know I just started my real estate journey, and all I can tell you is I'm going to do just the same amount of work as her, but I'm going to do more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you personally, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to get exactly what you want during this transaction. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one of the things is, man, like promising people things and like saying, I could do this and doing that, like that can help you open up the door to kind of get in there. But what you actually bring to the table and what you actually show.
I said it with integrity.
Exactly.
I knew what was going to happen.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And if you say you're going to do something, especially when you work for yourself, like what you bring to the table is so important when you work for yourself, because like a big company that doesn't back you is you. And if you say you're going to do this, and this, and you come to the table and you don't do this, and this, it can go downhill for me, because I realized that society as a whole, they have a really harsh attitude towards business owners. It's like you go to McDonald's, they forget your fries. It's like whatever, you're gonna go to McDonald's tomorrow. But if you go to like a small business and they mess up, they take it more personally for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Like if you go to like a little small mom and pop shop and if you order 6 wings and they give you 5, you're gonna go online and rant about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the average consumer. So for like when you're a small business, making sure that you bring to the table what you say you're gonna bring is huge. And obviously you killed that. And I'm sure that probably came back to you in tenfold. I'm sure they probably referred you to a million other people too, you know?
That's the big thing too.
That's funny that you say that because I think it was my second to my biggest listing that I got was a referral from her.
Exactly.
Was a referral from her.
Just like that.
From her.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like
$410,000 listing, and I sold it for $420,000.
Wow. And so let's just go over this. I saw you post it, but I wanna go over it with you. So what was your annual sales for this year?
I did $2.6 million.
Drop that shit for her.
2.6 million in real estate sales. Yeah, 2.6 million in the first year.
That
Think
was
about
my
that.
first year. I had one lead that my brokerage gave me. Everything else was organically created and or referral.
Wow.
What? Before we get deep into this, because if we get deeper, then I ask this question, it's gonna be crazy. What? Because you said you and Zach were like kind of studying at the same time. When he was studying for his notary signing, you were studying for the real estate exam. Yeah. What made you kind of go for that? Because you got
for real estate.
For real estate, what made you go for real estate? Because those people that don't know, you have kids. You got 3 kids.
I have 3 children.
A husband.
Yes.
A home.
You know, it's hard to just say a couple sentences to just start it out, but I will say number one, it was like planted in my heart by God.
Really?
100%.
That's great.
I think we all go through, especially if you have like a certain path that you want to go on. In my life, I went through so many different things, and I know that I came from the medical field. I was going to be a registered nurse. I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I wanted to do all those things, but I noticed ethically, like everything wasn't aligning. And I'm like, man, like I really want this money. I really want this lifestyle, but
this ain't the path for me.
So I left, I got pregnant in 2019 and I left my job as a medical assistant and I became a stay-at-home mom. And in in 2020, I decided to do real estate. For some reason, I started to get in this weird obsession. I dreamed about it. I studied it like it's all I wanted to do.
So at what point did you get the medical assistant? And then how long were you a stay-at-home mom?
I think right after I got my high school diploma, I was like, I need to get in the medical field. I need to do something. That was my career path.
Boom.
So I went to Tico here locally, got my medical assistant.
Tico, hey, congrats to you.
Right around the corner from here.
Yeah.
Studied for a whole year, had, A's and B's throughout the whole thing. And I ended up getting my license. And I think my first job was making I didn't even get a job as a medical assistant at first. I ended up working as a pharmacy, working with pharmacists at a call center. Where did I work? At UF in Lake Nona. I was working with pharmacists. So, and then I got a job as medical assistant and I was working for a year and a half and I was just like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
But in between those years, I did like multiple MLM, like I was selling products online, doing social media. So my entrepreneurial spirit was getting fed. I was just not doing the right things that I needed to be doing.
Look at that. So like you were in the middle of something you thought you should be doing. Now you're in the middle of it and you're doing things that you're starting to find out what you like.
Yeah,
you're like, ooh, I like marketing this. I like pushing this out. I like the social media effect. And it was almost like, I like everything but the medical part of this.
Yeah. It was hard. I mean, I did it because I love helping people. Like that's my calling. And I felt like that was the fastest way to make money and help people. So when I got into real estate, I was just like, this is all or nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have my children, I have my life, I have my hubby. Like I need to do this.
Yeah.
Because I promised that I would bring him home. I told you guys earlier, he works for a drilling company and he's gone a lot.
Yeah.
For the first like 7 years of our relationship, he was gone every week and would come home on the weekends. So I promised him that I would bring him home one day. And my goal is
deep.
to do that.
That's deep.
It runs deep.
So, but what
The
made
hunger
you
runs
what
deep.
made you quit as a medical assistant, and then at what window of time were you a stay-at-home mom?
As soon as I left,
2019, right?
Yeah, 2019. As soon as I left my medical assistant job, I got pregnant. I left and I stayed at home, and it wasn't long until I was like, I need to do something else.
yeah.
I am bored.
It
I
kills
do
you.
not know how to live here with these children. Like, I need to do
Get
something.
me the fuck out of here. So it was like 2020, pretty much, like the end of 2019,
It was crazy.
2020.
I had posted on Facebook like everything that happened this year and, you know, my sales this year. And I said, in 2020, God gave me a vision and it gave me something put something in my heart in the middle of a global pandemic.
Word.
It was. I studied at home on my computer. When I took my licensing test, I studied at my brokerage. I was on my computer when I took my licensing test. It was crazy,
Yeah.
but I did it.
You know,
And we were talking about it before. You actually said that you failed your test a couple times, right?
I did.
just like Jacob.
Just like Jacob on our podcast. Which, sorry,
Respect.
yeah, we don't have Jacob in here today, so we're gonna be missing him.
It's his fault.
Yeah,
Tell him, DM him. He's stupid.
he was
It was
on
his
vac-
birthday weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so you failed it twice. You said, right, just like Jacob did, and that's big because just like Jacob, you know, when you fail something, you got to keep going, you know, for sure. And if you would have gave up on your first time, where would you have been? You want to be here right now.
I can tell you the first time that I failed, I think I got, it's a 100 question test. And I think I got, you had to pass with a
70, right? Or 75 or something? Yeah,
70 or 75. And I passed with like a 71. And I was like, what the hell? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I put everything that I had into that test and I still failed. So the fact that I failed, I was like, all right, I'm doing it again.
Yep.
So I scheduled
Fuck
it a week later.
A week later.
A week later.
Good job.
Oh, wow.
That second time, I was on question 98 and the MacBook dies. Someone from my brokerage drives like an asshole through St. Cloud to go get the computer, the charger. And I got back on with the proctor that was online and I said, can I finish this test? And he said no. And it's like you have to pay to do the test every time. I said, like 98 questions, are you kidding me? I said, all right, schedule it for tomorrow. And I scheduled it and I passed.
Whoa.
It was crazy. But you know what? When I did it, you need to set the intention because before I put all this hype into it and I was telling my friends, my family, and I had this expectation to fill. But when I went into it the third time that I actually did it, I let go. I said, you know what? If I'll pass, I'll pass. Great. If I fail, I'm going to try again. Whatever.
Yeah.
When I went in for that test, I knew I had to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You were sick of that shit.
I was.
You were like, yo, I just had this guy drive through all this traffic for a charger. I'm at the question 98.
I
tough.
seen congratulations. You received your real estate license. You are licensed in the state of Florida. And I just,
How did that moment feel?
I can't explain it, but I sat there with myself for a minute and I just soaked it all in.
Yeah, it's like
Because
wow,
it
it's almost
was-
unreal.
It was real estate. To get your real estate license, it doesn't take that long. You take I think it's like a 64-hour class.
Yeah.
And then you got to study for your license, and then you pass your license, and you become a real estate agent. So once I became a real estate agent, like all that work was good, but the real work came after.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's a total different ballgame. What
Listen
you learn
to
in
that.
real estate school is not what you actually do on the field. And
Which
I
is
think,
why, who the fuck cares about that test?
I know.
At the end of the day,
I mean, you care because you
Y'all
need to
don't
pass
want
to
to know the
work.
questions that were on it. It was crazy.
It's stupid, right? Like,
that's what Jacob was saying. Jacob was like, those questions are so stupid on there.
it has nothing to do with how you make money in real estate.
It's true.
It's 100%, and it's crazy because like that's the reason why it's easy is the reason why everybody's mom and brother and sister, everybody's a real estate agent. But the thing is how many are successful with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I think we said it before when we were on here or something like that. But like, I'm pretty sure I saw a statistic that said 90% of realtors never even sell a house.
It's true.
So when you hear everybody say, "Oh, I'm a realtor," and I all the time I talk to people because I'm in the real estate industry, you know, and I talk to people and like, oh, I'm a realtor too. I'm like, oh, that's cool. How many houses have you sold?
Everybody
no, I
knows
never
a
sold
real
one.
estate agent.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And this is the type of field that you have to set yourself apart from other people.
1,000%.
And the best way that I did that this year, I would say, is the relationship that I have with people. Because the first thing that brokerages try to teach you is to start touching your sphere of influence. And when I did that, I did not miss one day this year without talking about my business or talking to someone. It's all about planting seeds. Like, I'm not going to hit somebody up and talk to them about real estate. I'm going to hit them up and tell them Happy New Year or how are they doing? Like, we all are connected, and when they go to do a transaction, I want them to think of me, like, Briana Eberenz, the realtor here in Florida. You know what I mean?
So to break that down, you're saying like, here's a market that I have, right? Let me start off with just saying Happy New Year, a happy birthday. You go, girl, or you go like, hey, congratulations on this new job offer or something, right?
Yeah.
Knowing like, hey, just know that I do real estate, period. But I support you.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, we're all people and we're all connected, and it's not just about business. You know what I mean? Like, when I do it, even if I don't do a transaction with somebody, I'm always like asking someone, like, always trying to refer someone, like, if you need a plumber, you need a roofer, like anything that has to involve a house, I want to be involved because I want to help you. That's my job.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like and we've had an episode about it. It sounds like you like just doing things with love.
There's a method to my madness.
Right? That's the main method to your madness. So it's like, let me market, let me use social media to separate myself, but let me do it with love and not 100%. Like hunger necessarily.
And I spoke about that in the podcast too, because like I had like a pretty decent sized marketing campaign for my business. And what I was doing is like before, whenever I used to go speak to people, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here to market myself, blah, blah. And like that's my mindset was like, hire me kind of, you know? And then, so I started switching up, and when on the episode that he was talking about, I actually dove into it. Like, I just started going in there and just talking to them, like, oh, you know, how are you guys doing, blah, blah. And it's kind of went in there, just kind of talking to them as them and not even trying to say hire me. It was just more so like, oh, well, here's a gift card for that. Oh, you look great today, blah, blah. Just come in. Oh, hey, my name is Zachary. I'm a local signing agent. If you guys need anything, just let me know. And left. Versus me before, it was like, oh, you know, like, where can I send my resume, blah, 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 you know? Right. And it was, the outcome was a lot
It's true
different.
Though, because nobody likes being told what to do, right?
No, 1,000%.
And even like, if anybody's bought a car, you know, like, hey, I know the car I want, I know this and that. And then as soon as you pull up to the dealership and somebody walks to your face, you're like, fam, give me a second here.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, let me relax. But then as soon as like, you know what you want, but somebody has been talking to you, like, you know that person's in your circle a little bit, and they happen to sell cars. Let me talk to this person because I want to do business with them or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, as a business owner, you have to provide value to everybody that you come in contact with. So if you're just looking out for your outcome in your pocket, there's not much value that your consumers can get if you're just looking out for you. But if you're looking out for everyone, the money's coming.
1,000%.
That's what and that's how I looked at it this year. I was like, I literally was talking to everybody about my business.
That's
I was
good,
talking
though.
to people at gas stations, like talking to random people. And I don't know necessarily if I got a deal out of that, but I know a lot of my deals came from social media or referrals.
I would tell you too, even like from doing this podcast, you might not have gotten a deal from that gas station conversation yet. Yeah. But at some point next year, you're gonna be like, holy shit, I just talked to the homie at the gas station and now I'm selling a house.
Yeah. You never know when it's gonna come.
You never know.
So your first sale came not easy. You were working for your first sale before you even had your license.
Right.
Did that go into some of the reflection? Like as soon as you passed that test, did you think about that first sale that was gonna happen?
100%. Whenever she told me that this other realtor was coming in and offering her this, I felt so many different emotions, but I was like, I have to execute. I have to get this. And my broker was like, you're going to beat out the top listing agent here in St. Cloud. Like in your first week of real estate, you're fucking crazy. Like, oh my God, you're good. Like I was on fire.
What was some of the things that she could offer that you felt like
The name probably more than anything, like the brand. Right?
I can disclose this. I think it's okay to disclose. So, you know, I think it's okay.
We'll cut it. Just tell us later.
Yeah.
So, you know, the person I was going up against, her sister is a billionaire. Do you watch Shark Tank?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the ladies on there, that's her sister.
Oh shit.
And her last name is plastered on her business.
Oh.
And she has a lot of business. She does millions of dollars. I don't even know why she was trying to get this $300,000 listing. But so there was that. And then she's like, you know, she just sold my friend's listing and it got her
And it
this
worked
much.
good.
And it was on 3 days on the market. And I said, listen,
shit.
I'm going to do everything that this lady did and more.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
all that.
I'm not gonna lie. I cut my percentage to get my first deal.
Listen to that.
I cut my pay to get my first deal, and I did that because I knew if I had, because you know when I first started, I had to be like, my brokerage did this last year. My brokerage, you know, they're gonna back me up.
Yeah.
But if I have one sale, and then I can use that the next time I talk to somebody. Like, listen, I just sold this custom home surrounded by trailers for $300,000.
Yeah.
I can sell this home for this much. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so, you know, I had to build my portfolio in real estate.
Okay,
Period.
of course.
And I did it strategically. And once I got the listing, I don't care what that paycheck looked like because that was the foundation of my business.
Yep.
And I still talk to her today. For Christmas, I wrote every single client that I have a handwritten card, sent them through the mail so that they can know how much I appreciate them.
Yeah, that's big. That's
You
touch.
have to do that. You have to follow up with your clients because if you don't, next time that they do a transaction, they're not going to remember Briana selling their house 3 years ago. They're going to remember the realtor that's on their last, you know, their brain the last time. So, yeah.
And that's kind of a good thing because like I was gonna touch base on that is like because you were saying how big she is and like how much she does for that. You know what? There's pros and cons. Well, it's intimidating, but you know what? Like honestly, personally, for me, I wouldn't want to go for a company like that because I feel like, to me, I've learned that companies that are big like that's like that, you're just a number at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And she you know what? She sold the house for $300,000. I mean, she sold the house in 3 days on the market for the other person, right, or whatever that you said. Who's to say that could have been more money because if they would have waited a couple of days, you know what I mean? And a lot of people just want to flip. And I've learned the bigger companies, it's not as much one-on-one, you know what I mean? Like
I could not believe the percentage that I was competing against, and I could not believe it. I was just like, oh my God.
Like what do you mean? Because like average percentage is what, 3%?
No. So nowadays when I charge a seller percentage is 6%. You have to remember that the seller's agent pays the buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I work for buyers have expenses that they have to do. They have to pay for inspections, appraisals, closing costs. They don't pay their realtor. The seller's agent pays them. I do a big wig. I charge 6%. I get 3.5.
Yeah.
The buyer's agent gets 2.5.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I work very hard.
Yeah, exactly. But I see that pretty often too. Sometimes I see even crazier things, but yeah, I see that pretty often. Sometimes people split it half and half. Sometimes not. It just depends.
So when you mean you 80% on your first sale, what did you do?
5% instead of some of that probably.
Y'all don't want to know.
No, tell us. Because I can't imagine of the statistics of those first year realtors don't do that.
I took 1% for me. At the end of the day, I took 1%. I gave the buyer's agent 2%.
Smart as fuck.
Because I knew at the end of the day, when I listed that house and they seen 1% for their commission, that realtor is going to look at that house and not
like,
send
nope.
it to their clients. I put my clients in front before me.
Yeah.
That's how I succeeded.
Yeah. There you go. That's dope. And then that's big because like you said, that helped you land it. And it happens, you know what I mean? It's part of the process, and you building a portfolio is big. And like in my side of the industry too, whenever you first start out, you don't get direct clients. We have to go through signing services, and signing services is like a middleman. They take part of the money, and so instead of making $100 to $200 per signing, you're making $75 to $125 per signing. You know what I mean? And you got to do it to build your portfolio and kind of say, hey, you know what? This is what I can bring to the table, and this is what it is, and that's part of business. You know what I mean?
Hey, but here's a gem you just dropped because like of whatever I don't know what the percentage statistics you guys just dropped on first year realtors, right?
I don't even know. I don't keep up
Look,
with it.
1% is better than 0%. And look
100%.
and 100% on that. No, but and look what that 1% did for her. That's the foundation. You heard us talk about it. That's the foundation of your business right there. And that's your experience. That's your reference. That's your everything. Can people don't understand that.
You can argue whether that was an L or not, though.
It's not an L.
It's not. I don't think that's an L.
I sold it for $300,000 and I got 1%. So
That's
on my first deal.
That's an upfront.
And you did it in 2 weeks of being a real estate agent. How many people make $3,000 in the first 2 weeks of real estate? Not many.
It's an L,
Not many.
but in your to your point, it's an L to what people think real estate is.
Yeah,
right?
true.
It's like start it, get into it, and then you figure out what this shit really is and what you really want to do to it. How bad do you want it? Right? Like I bet you out of that.
That's Les Brown.
Out of that,
I'm gonna ask you how bad do you want it?
Somebody's phone vibrating.
That's mine. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was like, what's going on?
I bet you 100% of those people that quit real estate didn't offer up a percentage of their sale.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not? I would almost exclusively do a small. Not saying that you should, because you blew up. You worked outside of what
I'm good now.
you're supposed to do. Yeah.
I'm in the green zone.
But for those people that think that like they're doing the bare minimum, at least work with your percentage. Like, because just like you said, the buying agent looks at your percentage and goes, ooh, like might not even show their seller or their buyer any other houses.
It's true.
Right?
It happens.
Because they're selfish. Take advantage of other people's selfish tendencies.
It happens.
Oh my God. That's a good point.
It's a really big, and a lot of like, for example, like I told you before, I work really closely with an investor, and he has a realtor that he uses, and he only pays him 1% period. But he does volume. He does volume.
It depends. You know, I'm the CEO of my own business, so I can choose what I want nowadays. You know, if recently I have a seller that has 3 properties, and I made a good connection with him, and he told me he was going to sell all 3 properties with me, so I charge him 5% for every property. You know, I'm not going to charge him 6% like I do.
So on that, that's smart. Did you end up picking the pay cut, or did you cut it on the buyer side or both sides?
On that one?
Yeah, did you do like 2.5 for each? So
I have the listing that I have under contract right now that's going to close the end of January with him. That was the first house. It's 2.5 each.
Okay, so cool. So you took it on your side. So you didn't cut the buyer's agent out.
No,
you cut yourself.
I can always take 3% and get them 2%, but
yeah,
I feel like giving.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
that's what it is.
Going out to eat and giving them a $50 tip. It's just something you do out of your heart.
Exactly. And especially if you're getting 3 houses, I mean, it's going to pay for you in the long run overall.
Yeah.
But fucking with the buyer's percentage could mess with you, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
right?
1,000%. Because
Yeah.
realtors would not bring somebody to the house if the percentage isn't right for them.
That's not me. I would never do that to my clients. I don't care if it's a 1%. I would never do that. Like I'm on a mission to find you what you need. If it takes me getting 1%, I've only seen that a couple times.
So when you play with the percentages, you're talking about your percentage, and then I know that the buyers are going to be interested because we're going to their percentages to remain similar.
Well, the seller's agent sets a percentage. So whatever's on the MLS, on the, here's 123 Grape Street, and then down below you see it's 2%. That's what you get. I would never, ever not show my clients something because I'm going to get a pay cut.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Huh.
That's
good,
stupid.
That's good, though. That's good morals and good ethical values that are going to take you.
You got to have it.
Yeah, you have to.
40% of my class was ethical and moral.
Yeah.
So.
And you'd be, like I said, you'd be surprised that there's some people in the real estate industry that don't always hold high standards.
I believe in giving, and you will receive so much more.
1,000%.
It's coming.
Yep.
That's a common theme in what you're talking about. Like, you were marketing with love and it ends up bringing more. Doing business with love and it ends up giving more. Take that in a little bit because that shit pays off. Like
1,000%.
You're talking to one of the very successful in 1 year.
It's crazy because I've talked to a lot of people in this industry this year. So many people. And there's this one guy who did like 7 point something mil this year, and it was his first year. And I posted mine 2.6, and I'm like, I'm so proud of myself. Like I worked so hard, 13 closings. Like it took a lot of work for me to get to that table. And I told myself this year I was going to do 12 closings, 1 per month. I wanted to make $60K this year, and I did more than that.
13.
I did more than
Get
that.
them.
She's like,
And it's crazy because I was talking to him. I was like, you did 7 point something this year. Like your numbers are astronomical.
Yeah.
Like that's your first year. Everybody's talking to me like how they're so proud of me. Like I'm proud of you. Like I look at the people that are doing more than me because I'm going to be where they're at.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with people that are doing more than me because they have something to teach me.
Everybody.
I do not. I will tell you, I started from January, I would say October. Let me give my last broker credit because he taught me everything I knew when I started. From, I would say January to August. I started January. August, I left my brokerage.
yeah.
And it was nothing personal. It was really so that I can grow my business. But I started at a brokerage that had just opened up their brokerage in October of that prior year of 2020.
So that was like their first year of being open when you started with them.
Yes.
Wow.
So when I started with that brokerage, I said, you know what? I'm not going to start with this big name company. He encouraged me. He's like, go out, search for brokerages. But I found like I like community and I like doing things with people and I like one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be number 20 and then my broker's being up there. I never talk to him. Like that's what I wanted to do. And so that's what I did. And I had to fight my first couple months in real estate. Like this is my brokerage's name. Like I've never heard your brokerage's name. Like how many numbers did you do? Like I had to fight for my brokerage's name and for myself. That was very difficult for me.
Especially as a new agent too.
But I started because I knew the power of community and I knew the power of working with somebody. I knew that person when I started. I knew that person since middle school.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is what's right.
You knew the new brokerage since middle school?
Your old broker. Yeah, your old broker.
My old broker,
Yeah.
I knew him since middle school. He was my age. He opened up his own brokerage. He's
Really?
very successful, very proud of him. But when I left, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was a very hard thing to do, but I did it because I wanted more for my business.
Yeah.
And it was nothing personal. It was something I knew I had to do for my business.
Yeah.
What do you think that they...
So
like,
I was gonna ask you, like,
Yeah.
when you say more, what exactly more do you like? Can you like elaborate on that a little bit?
So more as in more structure,
Okay.
more training. You know, I was at a brokerage that was predominantly male and I'm a mother, I'm a female. I wanted to be around. I noticed myself going to my first month, I ended up like going online and I was on Instagram and I ended up like connecting with these realtors. They're like, I don't even know what they're called, what their business is, but I ended up going like paying $100 for training. It was a photo shoot thing and I was like, I'm going alone. And I showed up to this mansion in Windermere and I was like, this is where I'm at home, baby. Like, this is what I want to be doing. These are the women I want to surround myself with.
Yeah.
And you know, you in your business, you have to surround yourself with people that are doing so much more than you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was there and these girls sell $1 million homes. The girl that I met, her name is Tiffany Pantozzi. She's a realtor and I think she's located in Windermere. She listed Shaq's mansion and she was speaking that day. That set the tone for my year. For 2021. And I was like, I want to be like these women.
Yeah, women empowerment, right?
You know, 8 months later, I ended up getting COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I was stuck in my house for 3 weeks and I was just really focused on myself and my business and what I wanted. And I made the decision to leave my brokerage and go somewhere else. The person I partnered up with, she's a woman, she's a mother, did 10 million the year before. Like I wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And it's been crazy. Like I think when I left my brokerage in August with 5 deals.
Oh, wow.
2 of those deals were two separate listings and they fell through. I brought the seller cash buyers. And they signed that day and he did not want to sign. He wanted to cancel the listing.
Wow.
And that was, let me see.
The seller wanted to listen?
And cash buyer.
The seller wanted to cancel.
Why was that? Just like last minute, like cold feet or something?
It was cold feet. I can't really disclose too much.
Yeah.
But I will say it was very hard. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to cut ties with this person. I understand where you're at.
Yeah.
Let's cancel it. no, don't worry. Like, I'm not going to sue you. Like,
Yeah.
some clients are so worried that
Yeah.
realtors are going to sue them. I would never do that to my client.
Yeah.
And the new brokerage that I'm with EXP, the Home Pride group at EXP. And I called my brokerage and I was like, listen, I'm in this situation. And it's so nice to be able to call one person and they have like 100 different answers for you. Like, it's so nice to be connected with people that are on another level.
With your brokerage.
My brokerage is
that's
big.
your business.
My brokerage is the international business. And I was so appreciative that when I was in that situation, I could call somebody. They said, Briana, we don't sue our clients. Like, that's not our memo. So when I heard that, I was like, listen, Mr. Seller, like, you're good. You know, you want to do business later? Let's do business.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was like, I would have hit 3 mil this year if I would have done those deals. So it was hard. It was duplexes.
It's all good though, because
it's good.
Who knows? Maybe next year, maybe the next year after, when real estate keeps climbing, maybe it'll be more. You never know. So I've always learned that when things fall through and something doesn't happen, there's purpose for it.
Yeah, and you know, my job mainly is to lead generate, make appointments.
Yep.
Sign contracts, and get to the closing table. Those are my 4 main focuses.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I take a loss, all right, you know what? It is what it is. On to the next.
Yep.
I'm not sweating it. I'm not going to tear apart that relationship for what? That's too much stress. Like,
Tax write-off.
I'm good.
What was your old brokerage?
Royal Realty, right?
Yeah, Royal Realty.
Okay, Royal Realty. Okay, cool. Because I brokerage. Is Keller Williams a brokerage?
Yeah.
Okay, so like most people in Central Florida would say like, oh, I want to be a realtor. I want to do this. Let me look at Keller Williams. That might be one of the bigger ones in Orlando.
Really big. Remax, La Rosa.
Yeah, Keller Williams is building big nationwide, basically.
Keller Williams is big, but I will tell you, a lot of people from Keller Williams are coming to EXP.
EXP. And that's the brokerage you're with now.
I am.
Okay, so one of the big things that got you over there was the woman empowerment. You saw some big women figures
With your team. There's different teams like within it, right? So you can kind of get into it. So if you're like a guy and you want like a guy's thing, you want a golf team, there's probably have stuff like that, right?
So the team that I'm with is it's all under an umbrella. So my actual broker is in Siesta Key, but I work with the I work with Home Pride Group. So the person who runs my brokerage, his name is Steve Peel.
Okay.
He had his brokerage for Home Pride for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And then he merged to EXP because he's seen how big the opportunity was for him. And when I say opportunity, revenue share, stocks, it's training, it's limitless.
Yeah, support.
And when I say I can go online and talk to a broker, I can talk to a broker right now if I wanted to.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
So it is nice because there's a lot of things in real estate. Like, I do not know it all, but I will tell you, I'm going to ask somebody that knows it all.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to do something to get to that point.
That's good.
Because at my old brokerage, like, you know, no shade on anyone, but I had one person to call to.
Yeah.
And it was so hard because I care so much about my business and I wanted so much for myself that wasn't enough for me.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Or my clients.
Yeah.
I noticed that like my clients were taking an L because of some of the things that I didn't know. And after the fact, there's so many things that I went through
Like that could have been
was
different.
new. That could have been different. So I knew for my clients, I had to step up and get to a different level.
That sounds really good. That sounds big because
It was.
like going back because I feel like that's like the theme of this. Like I'm looking at you as a 1-year realtor, like success, like you don't even know what I got coming next year, whatever.
It's crazy.
And I keep thinking back to that statistic of 1st-year realtors. And what are they doing wrong that you're not doing? And one of those things might be like, hey, yeah, Keller Williams is a big real estate brokerage or, you know, agency or whatever. But maybe just the top agents get the you know, attention they need or the respect they need in order to do what you're talking about. And if you're just starting off, maybe you're going to be at the bottom of that branch.
Yeah.
You're going to be at the bottom of that priority list where, hey, why not try some different brokerages while you're starting off? And then if you want to go, but like whatever, like at your point.
I just want to make a point, like for realtors and like any business owner.
Yeah.
No matter who is your broker or who is your boss, at the end of the day,
That's what you do, man.
you are in control of your business.
Yep.
And you are the reason why you fail, or you are the reason why you succeed.
Yep.
You have to really be hungry.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to really want it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's going to show. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, exactly. So I do have a quick question. So I know, so you're a realtor, and I know that like brokerage is kind of like, how do you become a broker from a realtor? I don't even know that.
So I believe that you have to be a realtor for 2 years consecutive. Okay. And then you have to take a 75-hour class. Don't quote me on this because I don't.
Guesstimate.
It's
you know
around.
more than we know.
It's around.
Yeah.
And you can get your broker's license and you can start your own brokerage.
Oh, okay. Is that something you want to pursue in the future, or you're not sure yet?
As of right now,
it's not in the picture.
No.
Yeah.
I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like just 2 years ago, I was in a totally different headspace, in a totally different space. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea I would be where I'm at. But I knew at that time, I wanted something like this. I was hungry for something like this. I have all the skills for it. I wasn't in the right place at the right time. So maybe 5 years from now, that would be something I want to pursue. But I'm kind of looking into flipping houses. I'm looking into investing in homes myself. I'm looking into a lot of different things, and it's not to own my own brokerage. I don't want to. My goal isn't to train people on how to be realtors. I think that the best way to become financially free is to invest in real estate, because once the market crashes. Once the real estate market crashes, the market crashes, vice versa. So it's everything.
Yeah. I do have a quick question for you, because this is actually like a pretty big debate. I know nationwide. I've talked to probably like 100.
I know what's coming.
Yeah, I talked to 100 realtors. I talked to 100 realtors, and I've gotten like 50-50 mixed answers. I'll go ahead and drop it though. Do you think we're in a real estate bubble right now?
In Florida specifically, how about that?
We could do nationwide and then Florida. We could do both.
Okay, I don't know about any other states.
Right.
I have no idea.
Okay, so what about Florida? What do you think?
Okay, based on the fact that this is my first year and the things that I've seen, I will tell you, I started real estate in the best year to start real estate.
Absolutely.
The amount of inflation and the amount of homes that are going for the prices that they are is crazy. I'm under contract for a home that's under 1,000 square feet. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It has a very nice backyard, and I'm under contract for $199 in town, in downtown St. Cloud, and it's a wood frame home. It's not a block home. So
fucking wood frame.
I don't know if this is just like, I've heard so many different things. Yeah. But what I will say is the amount of traffic and the amount of numbers that were going up in March and April of 2021 has drastically changed from right now. I mean, we're in the holidays, so things have slowed down a little bit, and I don't know what's planned for tomorrow. But I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I will say, I bought my house this time last year, and there was a lot of listings that I wasn't able to see because they were like, stay out of my house. It's the holidays. So I like, as far as my experience.
When you bought this house, were the owners living here, or were there tenants?
No, they were like renting the house out.
Okay.
And no tenants at the time.
It was vacant.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was vacant. So I got lucky.
I would like to know a little bit about that process. So when you bought this house, were you competing against other clients? Did you have to put in like an escalation clause?
So here's one thing that was big for me when I first signed up. And I just want to say, my real estate agent was really big in Keller Williams.
I really want to be your real estate agent.
No. Hey, shout out to, you work with Pocket Watch Podcast. You got everything from me. You know what I'm saying? But the real estate agent I work with, she was really big in Keller Williams. And I want to say, I see a lot of like she's well into her career at this
Right.
point. But I will say I see a lot of the things she was doing and saying with you.
Cool.
That personal touch, that follow up, that things like that. You got it.
You got to.
You got it. But we did. And one thing that was different for me, for anybody that's looking to buy a house, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I bought the house, I had my updates on MLS, like, I forgot what it was, but it was like, I had it set to a time and it wasn't like instant. And I wasn't able to buy shit because I was getting all my updates at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And that update was already yesterday or some shit like that. So by the time I got my
what do you
update,
mean update? Do you mean like the realtor, the selling agent saying, hey, listen, we're going to sell this house by this time, so we need all the contracts in by this time?
meaning like when I looked at houses available for sale on MLS, it for some reason she let me know. She was like, do you just want it in the mornings? Do you want it instant, like as it comes in or whatever? And I chose the morning, so I was like,
Right.
And that screwed me over like crazy. But for this house, I just switched to give it to me on demand. As soon as something goes on the market, let me know.
That's how it is.
It has to be. And it's crazy because for you, this is second nature because you've worked in the year of like the craziest market ever. But like for me,
this year.
and maybe she was like, look, Cruz, you need to like get instant updates if you want to buy one of these houses because you were talking about competition.
Yeah.
Every house had competition.
The buyers are doing things for the sellers these days.
Period. Yeah.
Buyers are giving sellers concessions. The second to the biggest listing that I sold this year, the buyer ended up, my seller was moving to North Florida, and the buyer was like, listen, I own my own AC company. You said you don't have any ductwork AC. You let me get this house. I'm going to go ahead and do something for you.
Really?
And it was written in the contract. It's anything. It's a bilateral contract. A real estate contract is between the buyer and the seller. Any terms that they agree to is what's going to happen. So in this year, buyers have to fight hard to get their offer accepted and even more.
100%. I think I bought this house over my offer price, but I had like a contingency where like I think I offered like 250 or 245 or something. It appraised for like 255.
Okay.
And I ended up getting that. But like
That's crazy.
it was crazy because in my mind I was like,
Can you disclose what kind of loan you had? A conventional FHA? Can you?
Who's the first time home buyer supply FHA?
Did you?
yeah.
FHA?
Yes.
You bought when the time was right, because nowadays FHA is the redheaded stepchild of this.
You not getting nothing. And my
You ain't
real-
getting nothing.
My agent was telling me too. She was like, "Look, there's no way it's gonna praise for over this amount, XYZ, this and that." And then boom, and I was like, "Oh my god!" No, but you're so right because I can't imagine these days how competitive.
It's hard.
We
It's
were the
hard.
first.
Yeah.
honestly.
I have an FHA buyer that I'm working with, and they actually own a home that's like really old in downtown St. Cloud. Everything's like 1910, 1920. And they own a home, and they bought it with an FHA loan.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're going out and buying another one with the FHA loan, they're like, what's going on with FHA? Like, why is FHA like inferior to conventional? And I'm just like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Like,
requirements.
it's requirements.
How many buyers do you get outside of Florida?
So
Speaking to like the whole market.
Right now, I just want to share a big win that I have. Today, I'm going under contract, second day, 2022.
Hey.
I'm going under contract with my buyers from Georgia.
Ooh.
And, you know,
There you go. Give her a round of applause.
this buyer, she's someone that used to take care of me when I was younger. She was my babysitter.
Oh, wow.
And her mother, she lives in Alabama. Her mother lives in Georgia. Her mother's selling her house and is contingent upon buying a house here in Florida. I found them we're going under contract today. I found them a 2,300 square foot home in Fort Meade. It's a one red light town in Polk County.
wow.
Like, I don't even,
Yeah.
I've never been there. The listing agent was so awesome. I was like, listen, my son's birthday, it was yesterday. I was like, I really would love for you to take initiative and help me. And she did. She did a FaceTime call with the buyers and did a showing, and we put it in a contract. So they're going to sign today.
Wow, look
So
at that.
that was the only person that I've ever had come from out of state come here. And that was like obviously my own personal
So are you on a realtor? Are you the realtor for their selling too?
I'm realtor for the buyers.
Oh, okay.
For the
So
buyers.
you're not
I'm the
doing the
buyer's
selling on their
agent.
house?
I'm not selling the house.
Aw.
I found them that house,
Okay.
and it was like random. You know, on the MLS, you can search for your buyers. You can
Yeah.
search what county, what kind of bed and bath, how many square feet, and there was something specific that she wanted. Single woman, older woman, and she wanted to be alone. They actually own a really successful construction business here in Florida. So she wanted to relocate here. And normally, like now that I'm with EXP is international, so I can work with anyone outside the United States and in a couple different countries. I don't think we're worldwide now, but you know, I was like, hey, I could list your house in Georgia. I can refer a realtor, and they're like, no, we're going to use the realtor that helped us buy this house. And I said, cool, sounds
cool.
good. Yeah, I'll represent you on the buying side. So I'm working with her to help her find her house here.
Wow, that's great. That's great though.
And like,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
No,
but
no,
like,
you're good.
my every listing that I had here was in St. Cloud and Osceola County, because that was my sphere of influence.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work with a lot of people in California and New York because I don't know a lot of people
in
there.
California.
I know a lot of people here.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was just like out of chance. She called me. She said, "Hey, girl, I know you're a realtor. Can you help me?"
And that's right now until you start hearing people referring. And in 5 years, you're probably gonna be doing working with a lot of people out of states like that too.
But you can make good money just staying in the local area.
of course.
Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Of
Look
course,
at that.
absolutely. Especially with this market, it's absolutely insane. So, I think I remember seeing that you represented a buyer and seller before, didn't you? I thought I saw that, but I could be wrong.
I did.
You did, right?
Let me like scroll back really quick. So yeah.
I remember
I
seeing
did. When I left my brokerage, I left with 5 deals. Like that was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And you know, at that point, I was.
And you got more deals with the next brokerage by the end of the year. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it was-
She's like, of course.
It was crazy. But what I will say is the deal that I represented both sides was my grandfather's listing.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
That
That's
was
great though.
awesome. He owns several acres in God, I can't even remember the place. Holopal.
Holopal, yeah.
Yeah, Holopal. And there's usually Holopal is single wide trailers on an acre or two. And right now, like a couple months ago when I sold it and I was representing the buyer as well as my grandfather, we sold for $178 for a double wide on an acre. And you know, if you want to invest in anything right now, long term, I would invest in something that's going to grow in the future.
Yeah.
So right now, if you look at Lake Nona and Narcoossee Road, 1 acre is going for $100,000. Well, at least a couple months ago, it was going for $100,000.
Yeah.
All those homeowners that own property on Narcoossee, they're making so much money, and they probably bought that property for $10,000 back in the day. Back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to invest in long term, I would suggest investing in a rural area where you can buy. I represent
Land.
my
outskirts.
cheapest deal this year. I think they bought it for $30,000. I got like a commission of $700. I was like, so what? I made a couple phone calls and I wrote a couple contracts. We did it.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's clearing out that land and putting a double wide on there. And I don't know if he's going to rent it out or have family live there, but it's an investment. If you want to invest in anything that's cheap right now, I would invest in something that's cheap now and in the long term where you know where it's going to grow. Holopal is right after Harmony.
Yep.
Harmony is a big place to buy right now. It's huge. It's expensive.
And the houses they're building over there are crazy, man. Because I actually did a closing. I didn't realize it was so far. It says St. Cloud. And I was like, oh, let me just accept it. And I pulled my GPS. I'm like, oh. Because I live in West Orlando. So I'm like, no, it was all the way out in Harmony. But they're building some big, like they're the cookie cutter houses for the most part. But they're building some big ones.
They're like Dr. Seuss houses. Like
Yeah.
every house is the same.
Yeah, exactly. They're cookie cutter houses. But the one I went to was massive. It was like I think a 7-bedroom. It was like over 4,000 square foot. I was like, Jesus, this is like big. I wasn't expecting it to be like that.
I will say, like, and I feel like this year we've noticed a common theme of those that went to work during quarantine, like during the pandemic, are coming up. Like you got Trench Family, you got, you know, real estate and shit like that. Like just anybody, you did the same shit.
This
during
was
quarantine.
a year to invest in yourself, hands down.
100%.
Period. Invest-
It was
100%.
quiet time this year.
Period.
You had to put your head down and go to work.
Yes, but I will say, last year, even though COVID was very much alive or whatever, But last year, I think, because when I bought my house, December 2020, everybody was like, oh, yo, COVID is happening. There's going to be so many, delinquent payments, this and that. Like the houses you're looking at right now are probably going to be like 50 grand cheaper in a couple months when this and that. I think this year or last year was the year where if you invested in real estate, you're going to see big gains. Because in my mind, because he asked you about the market in Florida.
Inflation.
Right, inflation. Yeah. But we've had a whole episode on this where there's very much a great argument for inflation, right? But there's also a great argument for Florida's the best place to be in the United States of America right now.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And that's easily arguable, I feel like.
And there's so
statistics back it up too. That's why everybody moving here.
I mean, and you got our governor, you got COVID, you got beaches, you got whatever, bitches.
The weather. Whoa.
I'm just playing.
COVID's hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had the Delta variant. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was dying on my couch.
Oh, I remember you told me that. You said that you were like really bad shape. Luckily, the doctor helped you a lot.
I was, thank God. It's sad. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's crazy that we're 2 years into this and all there is masks and vaccines.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, do you guys have anything else? Like, with the flu?
Pfizer came out with like a treatment, but that's not being pushed as much as the vaccines or masks. See what I'm saying though? Like, not to say that they don't have these things, they might, but they're not pushing it. Like you said, you've never heard of it.
The thing is, you know, like I have a medical background and I know a thing or two.
Yeah.
And I will say with viruses, and any nurse and doctor will say this, is treat your symptoms when you have a virus, because virus you can't give a medication to and you're not going to get better like a bacterial infection. So like anything that's going to keep the fever down or what other symptoms that you have, but it's just crazy. I love America.
Yeah.
I wish when we were younger, like things were like they were when we were younger, but it's not, and it is what it is. But I will just say, like, it's important to stay educated and it's important to take care of yourself, because the doctor that I had, I would have not gotten better and as fast as I got better if I didn't have connection with that doctor.
Yeah, that's a good point. Know your doctor. Talk to your doctor.
Gave you ivermectin, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, if you got COVID and you're listening, look into ivermectin.
And talk to your doctor before you do any of these decisions.
Well, you have to find a doctor that's even willing to prescribe you ivermectin too.
If you go into the hospital, they're going to maybe give you IV fluids and tell you to go home and quarantine. Yep. I know with my son, I took him to the hospital yesterday because he had a fever. I thought he had dehydration because we were on the boat the day before. Yeah. And usually when I go into New Morris, they will do blood work and they will give IV fluids. And yesterday they listened to him with the stethoscope and they sent him home saying he had a virus and tested him for COVID. That was the only thing they were concerned about.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, you got to be educated and you got to take care of yourself and your family and be connected with people that have that knowledge, because I don't know exactly, I can't quote, but I know that the ivermectin helps 70% reduce the symptoms of COVID 70%. Yep. And legally, I don't know like everything that we're saying, but
we don't know shit about nothing.
But we're not medical doctors.
Yeah.
These were studies that were done outside the U.S. and my doctor prescribed it to me. Yeah. You know, and everybody makes a big deal. It worked for me. Yeah. I was sick. Yeah. And ivermectin was stated by the World Health Organization, the WHO, that it was a great drug prior to COVID. Whether or not they give it to people for COVID, you know, I don't think that the WHO has said anything upon that. No. But I know that it has been proven to reduce symptoms 70%, and I will say that it did help me tremendously. So it was nice. It was nice to be connected with a doctor that's actually educated and knows how to take care of the patient.
I remember that you had wrote me whenever you were sick and you were telling me, you were like, I don't know if I'm going to survive this right now. I remember you told me that. You said that you were on your couch and you said that you weren't sure if you were going to survive or not.
I couldn't breathe. I was laying on my couch and I really couldn't breathe. And I don't smoke cigarettes. So, you know, like my mother, she had it and we were around each other at the same time. So maybe she had the same variant, but she's been a smoker for 20 years and she didn't have it as bad as me.
Yep. And like my girlfriend, she caught COVID back in March 2021.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten it.
And she had COVID and she was in the hospital. She was in the hospital, not in the hospital. She was in our house laying down, like we're going to bed at night and it sounded like she was gargling when she was breathing. It was like, I was like,
it felt
I'm like, are you good?
Such a touchy subject for people. You know?
And I was like, are you okay? She's like, I cannot breathe. I'm like, just do the best you can to relax, you know?
Yeah, because some people haven't experienced it at all, and it's really hard for them to like understand.
But now this new variant out is, and I know a lot of people that are getting it.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting this new variant.
Even people that I know that are vaccinated are getting it. So you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, like you have to be responsible for yourself and your family and stay educated and take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, like they're not going to do it
and
for you.
Try to take care of your health.
Parentheses on yourself.
Yeah.
1000%.
I just want to say that, like parentheses on, like
Yourself.
learn for yourself, take care of yourself and your own family. Stop worrying about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
But to that point, I just want to say, because Florida is operating a little different under this COVID. And I feel like the markets in these other states are like way higher than, like, for instance, my girlfriend's uncle just sold his house in Lake Nona and he had buyers from Minnesota. And apparently their houses in Minnesota are like $800,000 to $1 million for like a home that they just bought in Lake Nona, which Lake Nona is really nice for Florida. But that's why it's hard for me to understand this inflation, or maybe like if there is an inflation, because it's like, how are these states where it's cold 8 months of the year selling their homes for $800,000 and we got beaches, and you know what I mean?
It
like,
just depends on what's going on in those other states, whether it be factories or, you know, like I know here in St. Cloud locally, we have Lake Nona. We're 30 minutes away from Orlando. The beaches, like everything is going up in price because we are surrounded by those things. So I would say, you know, like even my client, she has a decent home and it's going for almost $300,000 in Georgia. Georgia's crazy. I love Georgia.
is Georgia popping now?
Oh my God. I wish I mean, I love Florida so much, but if I could just like go dream and live in another place, it would probably be like Tennessee or Georgia. You can buy a mansion for like $300,000.
Yeah.
A 5-bedroom,
Yeah.
3.5 bath, freaking 4,000 square feet. Like,
You just gotta be set though.
My parents,
$300,000. Like, come on, we can go move there if we want to tomorrow. But what do you want to be around? You want to be around the beaches or the cows?
like my family, they got a house in Ocala a few months ago. It's 6-bedroom, I think it's like 4,100 square foot. They got it for $399
What?
in Ocala, and like prime Ocala.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what you're seeing in Florida, like Davenport, Ocala.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to go on the outskirts if you want to have Orlando in your address.
Funny
you
that
ain't
Kissimmee.
getting that.
I'm good.
I'm so happy that I'm living in Kissimmee right now, and Kissimmee's no longer the outskirts. It was like last 2020, December 2020, when I bought this house, it was not considered the outskirts, but it was 6 months away from the outskirts. You know what I mean? Like,
would they consider the spot BVL?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What you mean? No, just
They just like did the construction. It's been like 3 years, but from Boggy Creek to Lake Nona,
Yeah.
right there. You
Yeah.
guys, everything is building.
yeah.
Yep.
They got, somebody just bought like I think it was like 3.2 billion worth of this like cyber town they're trying to build or something like that. Like on Simpson and something. It's straight construction. Like
That
they're
sounds
doing
good.
whatever.
She's like, her eyes lit up. Hers like, what?
I would, if I can give you any advice, it would to be stay here because things are growing
Around
and your equity is gonna grow.
Yeah. Have you seen interest rates going up?
I have not.
No, yeah,
Not
they've been staying stable.
It's just right. Okay, so that's another thing that I want to just touch on. A lot of people this year are like, everything is so expensive. I'm going to wait till the market crashes to buy. Well, guess what, guys? Your interest rates are really low right now.
Yep.
So when you go and buy at that really low price, your interest rates are going to be high and you're going to be paying more.
People don't realize, man. This is something I say because
run.
I close the loan documents. That's what I do for a living. And I get to see all the number side. And you'd be surprised what 1% on $250,000 over 30 years does.
You might as well buy a house
1%
$100,000 more.
1% on $250,000 is easily
Exactly.
$80,000. easily 80,000 over 30 years.
And that just goes to show, you know, like everyone's not educated in the real estate industry, and it's okay for those people to make that decision.
Yep.
I'm not going to be hard on them, but I'm going to educate them and let them know you want to buy then or when it comes.
What if it never comes though? Because like
I don't know.
We've talked about this. Like at some point, LA was up and coming, right? And I'm sure there was people talking about a bubble or whatever. And then next thing you know, they got 1.5, like nothing. You know what I mean? New York, like there's a lot of reasons why New York is popping. They have like outside investors just buying real estate up.
New York is crazy.
Yeah.
I believe that New York is the number one real estate producer in the United States, besides California. Bring up those two. Those are the two biggest ones.
But I think Florida,
And one of the
Florida's too, but
it's coming.
New York's ahead.
yeah. And I
You think there'll ever be a new LA? Like,
who knows?
How could there
I
not?
don't know anything about California. I've never been there.
How could there not?
the problem with New York for real estate is that there's nowhere to build. You know what I mean? Like even when you go upstate, there's not much building you can do. You know what I mean? Like in prime New York, but in California, you know, there's still hills you can build on. So like there's still stuff you can still expand on. But New York, you can't really do any
I would
expanding.
never buy property in California.
Yeah, well, me either.
I would personally. I would
Yeah.
never.
They have a lot going on over there, especially with like weather-wise.
Weather,
COVID,
politics.
weather, all of that shit. Like
Yeah.
that's why Florida,
Florida
see
is amazing. It's a great investment. Like if any investors are listening, it is the best investment opportunity just because you have like the beaches, the investment properties. You want
business.
people to live here. You want
More people
to
are
rent
moving
your
here every year.
Airbnb here.
Yep.
Orlando just opened up. We got Deloitte opened up. We got Lockheed Martin. We got factories. We got
Lake
manufacturers.
Nona, Disney headquarters are headed to Lake Nona right now, guys.
Really?
So you want to know why the property off Narcoossee Road headed into St. Cloud is so much money? It's crazy.
Oh yeah, and Lake Nona is
just
medical
had-
city.
Medical City. When I was
Yep.
a medical assistant in school, I remember the principal coming in and talking about Medical City and how
Yeah.
big it was going to be and how many
Yep.
jobs there were going to be. And I was like,
Man, have you seen the VA in Lake Nona?
I've been there. They have
Me
good
too.
food there. I'm not going to lie.
I never been like I never ate there, but the VA in Lake Nona is like a freaking. It's like going to like a theme park almost. It's so massive.
For those of you that have listened back to our like what was it, market value episode, I win that episode. I'm
Really?
sorry, just off of this episode,
Yeah.
How
because
so?
Jacob and Zach were arguing me to the
Yep.
fucking bone about how we're in a bubble.
Yep.
And here we are a year from now, damn near,
Yep.
and there's still growth to be had.
I came back to you because I actually spoke because I thought we were in a bubble, and I spoke to a like a realtor that's been a realtor, and he's actually in St. Cloud for over 30 years.
Can you say his name?
Yeah, it's
Brain fog.
yeah.
It's okay,
It's
we
my
all have
my
it.
parents. It's my parents' realtor like
It's
5
cool.
times.
I just wanted to know if I knew that.
Wow. Okay, I don't know off the top of my head. If
Come
I remember,
on,
I'll say it. No,
Zach.
if I remember, I'll say it to you guys.
It's cool. I hope y'all remember my name, if
But anyways,
anything.
I sat down and spoke to him,
Briana.
and he was telling me, he was like, "Nah, we're not in a bubble, bro." He goes, "This is where Florida needs to be." And he goes, "We're not in a bubble." And I was like, "Well, what do you think about like I was like, what do you think about people like whenever like the payment forgiveness and everything ends? What do you think about like what's going to happen with the whole like I forgot the name of that too when people like can't pay their bills in their
like
house.
delinquency.
No, delinquency, but there's a foreclosure. What do you think about foreclosure? He goes, houses aren't going to be foreclosed. I'm like, why not? He goes, why would you foreclose on a property when you can sell it and make $20,000 profit off of it?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And so he was like, hey, we ain't going to see foreclosures.
Okay, I want to touch base on that because I obviously wasn't around 2008
Yeah.
when everything was in foreclosure. and
Yeah, he
we had
was a realtor
recession.
back then too.
He was.
Yep.
So he knows that.
Yep.
But I can tell you that as far as the lending part aside, as a realtor, it's my job to connect my
Yeah.
buyers with
So
people that are
thorough.
educated. And I know a really good lender, and she's talked to a lot to me about everything. And she's told me all the guidelines to be able to get a loan to purchase real estate is insane. It's not like it used to be. So of course not. We're not gonna.
And
go
you
into
got mortgage
foreclosure.
insurance.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah, mortgage insurance.
Hey, but you know what? It's so much better to pay your own mortgage than it is to pay somebody else's.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Especially these rent prices are crazy. Like, I am so blessed to not have to do any of that.
Yep.
I personally don't own a home of my own. So
Yeah.
when we were talking about those goals for this year, I really would love to purchase my own home or at least save 20% down so I can have an investment property. But it is hard out here for people who are paying rent. And
I got lucky because I rent, and I got lucky with where I'm at because I got it locked in at like it was like $12.60 something, but like after all the fees, everything, it's like 13 something a month, right? It's like mid 13s, but
you have a year lease. Your landlord might want to sell.
Well, yeah.
And the price is high.
Well, no, I don't have. It's an apartment, so like they're not gonna sell anything. But so luckily but I got lucky because I did that. But then literally 3 weeks after I did that, my same apartment, the floor plan shot up to $1,800 a month, and it's been staying at like 16 to 19, 17 to like 19. And so I got lucky.
How many bedrooms do you have?
It's a 1 bedroom.
Shut the fuck up.
But
God.
I will say the good thing about it though is it's like a massive 1 bedroom. It's a 1,000 square foot 1 bedroom. Well, I'm in a good location. I'm married in Millennia.
Okay.
Right, dead center. But I do want to say
the mall's my neighbor.
For those of you that didn't understand, like what you were just talking about with 2007, 2008 crash, so it's like rule out market crash due to lending.
Yeah.
That's not fucking happening. The guidelines that there are to get a loan, right? Because you mentioned Zach makes great money and it's hard for him to get a loan because of the way he sets his books. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You gotta, if you own a business, you have to have 2 years of paying taxes to be able to get a loan. Mm-hmm. I cannot get a loan right now.
For that business too, for that specific business.
And back then they were handing out loans like, oh, you want 2 houses? Here you go. Like, go ahead. So that's not happening. And then on top of the restrictions, they got the mortgage payments and shit like that, which is like ensuring that this doesn't happen again.
One thing I will say though is that I've noticed that on like the personal lending side, the banks are so strict, but on like the business lending side, bro, they hand out money like nothing, bro. Like it's just like, oh, you want to buy that house for $300,000? Look, we can close tomorrow, bro. Let's approve right now. Let's go. It's insane, and it is absolutely insane. Their interest rates on them are through the roof. But I'll tell you right now, market flip flopped. I know a lot of people, business side, that are going to be scratching themselves like crazy because, man, I'll tell you right now, on the business side, they just hand out money like cake, like nothing. It's nothing. It's like, you want it, you take it. You want it, you take it. You want it, you take it. But like on the personal side, it's so much harder, which doesn't make sense to me because I feel like on the personal side, it's a safer bet than on the business side almost. Personally, for me, that's what I feel like. Because on the business side, things flop. Business owners are going to be like, take that shit, man. That's whatever. I'll write it off. And then on the personal side, it's like, this is my home. I need this. I have to have this. This is where my kids live, you know? But I don't know. Maybe they have a reason.
It's funny that you say that because you can actually get a loan on a home as a residential home with your business.
Yeah.
Through your like the revenue of your business, apart from like what you make as your regular job. But I do know a lender that's there's actually loans that you can get, like an FHA loan. You can pay like 3.5% and do renovations on a property.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's crazy.
You have to give like up to $35,000 for renovating.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I know a lender that does that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot what the name of the loan is.
Briana
I forgot.
has a great lender.
Fuck with her. I have a couple great lenders.
Yeah. Good.
I work with one solely, and I got connected with a new one recently. And it depends. Like some lenders don't do VA loans, and some lenders do this. So like, I like to keep my business close side because I need to know the buyer that I'm referring someone to, that someone is going to take care of my buyer.
No, yeah,
I need to know that.
And then starting out, how hard was it to get those connects of lender, of whatever other connects you have, right? Like handyman,
I want to give credit to my last brokerage because the connections that I have today is because of my last brokerage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that my old broker was working, I think 7 or 8 years as a realtor before he opened up his own brokerage. Mm-hmm. So he had already built,
those connections.
It's big connection.
And how is that? How does that work? So you switch brokerage? Did those connections ever like wean from you? Or they're like, as long as you bring me the business?
Yeah. You know, it is what it is. I think that no matter where I go, the connections that I make is because of me. It's not because of my old broker. It's not because of this person. We had that relationship because of me and that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might work with someone better than I might work with the other person.
Yeah.
But I made some really great connections, and I always keep everyone close tied and wishing everyone well because you never know who you're going to need or who might need your services. It might be on the other side. So I met a lot of amazing people this year, and I had several. I mean, in real estate, you're going to have brokerages trying to recruit you.
Yeah.
But because I was growing as fast as I was and the potential that I had and, all the fire that I have within me, a lot of people seen that. And I was taken out on lunches with brokers who were trying to recruit me. And it was a really hard decision to decide where I was going to go.
Wow. So you had like a little decision process.
I did.
Okay, cool.
It was hard. It was very hard. But at the end of the day, I just knew I had to pray on it, and I had to think on it, and I had to do what I think is best.
And you made a good decision, obviously, because you sold more in the fourth quarter than you did in the first 3 quarters.
I'm excited. I'm so excited to see what you have in store for next year, because I know that this right here is a great year, but it's going to be the worst year, I feel like, for you. You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is a great year, but I feel like this is gonna be the worst year of your life, because you're just now starting. I think next year you're gonna probably multiply what you're doing. You're gonna look back on this year and be like, that was so little. Because you're gonna grow so much. You know what I mean?
Your worst year.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't mean it like negatively. I don't know if I said it wrong. But I feel like you're gonna blow up. I feel like you're gonna take it even farther. And I feel like because of the energy that you bring, the person that you are, you're such a kind-hearted person. Even when we were younger, because if you guys don't know, I've known her since we were like in high school, basically. And
we were classmates.
yeah, she was always such a nice person. She always had this sweet voice. She was always so nice and so kind, and she's always had like that energy with you know what I mean? And like I feel like it's gonna take you so far. I really do.
Thank you.
Really do.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I told you guys that God placed this in my heart.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we all have these gifts that we're given. And when you live in your comfort zone, and when you live in what your parents have taught you, or what anybody has projected on you, you're gonna play safe, and you're not gonna get where you're gonna want to be,
100%.
and you're not gonna feed that fire that's within you that's gonna take you to your next level. So for me, like as a young girl, I was in different situations in my life where I was like, I never want to be here again. Like I never want to feel like this. Yeah. So like, you know, getting to the point where I am today, like it's full circle, and you really got to be hungry for it.
And before we close this up, what was the one thing that you said was separating you? Like, what's the one tactic that you're trying right now that you think is your separation?
This year, 100% is focusing on social media and growing my platforms, because I know that's the quickest way to connect with everyone. Everyone's on social media, and I think what really sets you apart is your God-given gifts and how you use them.
Absolutely.
In person.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
100%.
I agree with that. And I do want to do, before we go out, I want to say thank you for coming on. It was great. I feel like we had a great conversation.
Are we done already?
It's hour and 20 minutes.
What?
Time
we
flies.
can talk forever.
Yeah, exactly. Time flies.
That's crazy. I finished my drink and everything.
I know we're definitely going to have you back on for sure. You're definitely going to be added to our lineup, because that was a great conversation. And I would love to do like a 6-month checkup. That would be dope. Did like a 6-month
Let's
checkup
do
on
it.
I would love to do that.
I would like to, by 6 months from today, I would like to double my production from the 6-month mark that I made last year.
I think that's going to be easily attainable. I think going to easily attainable.
We're going to play that right before your next episode. 6 months.
Well, I already have a $600,000 contract that I'm going to list.
Wow,
soon.
Look at that. So you're already like 20.
I have 2 contracts pending right now.
Wow, that's big. That's
for
big.
2022.
That's big.
Big 2022.
Well, congratulations on you for that, for sure. And we do appreciate you for coming. And anybody who's listening, if you guys want to connect with her, I'm going to have all of her stuff linked below. So go ahead and hit her up. If you're looking to buy a house, you want to just show her some love, you want to see her journey, you want to watch her journey, give her love, support, whatever, woman empowerment, whatever it is, go ahead and check the description below. All of her links are going to be there. So connect with her.
And I'm not in just Osceola County.
Yeah.
I am licensed in the state of Florida, so I can go anywhere. And, you know, if it's too far, like Miami or North Florida, I can tell you that I'm connected with a lot of realtors that can take care of you.
There you go. Boom.
You know, reach out to me.
If she can't help you, she can put you in the right arms, and you can see how how she is ethically and morally. So she's going to definitely put you in the right direction. And like I said, you know, we always bring good people on here for the most part, you know, so the best that we can.
For having
so we appreciate you.
Fun.
Awesome. You guys want to add anything else before we head out?
No, that's it. Happy New Year. I know we're kind of late, but like,
New Year.
Let's execute this, guys. Like, I think you guys are going to see us grow bigger than we've even thought when we started. And I hope you guys do the same thing. I hope you guys are going to execute these New Year's Eve resolutions, and we got big things coming. This is one of many.
Yep. There you go. You want to add anything else?
I'm good. I think the best thing to do is just feed your fire, and everything else will come through full circle.
There you go. Pocket watch out.
Out.